Good morning. It's I don't know what time it is. A bit after 5. Sunrise is in about an hour, or it's there so. But we've come to a place called Dog Rocks. Now, Dog Rocks used to be a rather popular place for photographers. I don't know why it's not, because there's a lot of rocks, like big boulder-looking structures here and stuff. But there used to be this tree that was like surrounded by rocks, and apparently people cut it down. I've actually never photographed it, so I missed out. So I thought I wanted to do somewhere close before school drop off and everything this morning. So come out, go here, then take some photos. Hopefully everything we'll get some shots. If you're seeing this, then maybe we've got some shots. If you're not seeing this, then it's living on my device forever. But yeah, so we're just I don't really know any spots here, so we're sort of waiting for there to be just a little bit more light. I can see, now I don't know if you will be able to see it. I'll try and show you, but so over this way, there's actually this tree here. Now I am being a bit careful because it is still warm. So there's this old, like this tree here. There's, as you can see, there's a lot of like interesting rocks and stuff as well here, but there's this tree. The sun is rising over in that direction somewhere. I am a bit disorientated, so yeah, but we'll see. I'm hoping that this will make for an interesting shot. The tree there, maybe some of these rocks in the background, foreground, sorry, and we'll see what happens. But yeah. So we're just waiting now. I think I found a composition that I like, so I'm just waiting to for the sun to come up a little bit. Yeah, it's rather peaceful here. You can sort of hear the cars going past every now and then, but yeah, I did hear a bit of a rustling or a bit of a noise before. It kind of freaked me out. Then I looked around and I realised that I'm pretty sure there was a kangaroo behind me. So just a little bit of light. Yeah, so there is actually a little bit of nice colour in the sky. So what I'm going to do, yeah, so I'm currently just doing about a 4-minute exposure. There is a little bit of this like really nice faint glow happening in the clouds as the sun it's not like up yet. I'm still using, as you can tell, using a light, but it's just sort of creeping. The sun's starting to creep into the clouds. So I'm hoping if I do I'm going to do basically like a 4-minute exposure for the sky, and then we're going to do an exposure that's going to be sort of a bit more, because I think the foreground's still going to be rather dark. So we might have to because we'll probably have to focus stack anyway, so we'll do a focus stack and do an exposure for the foreground. I think on this one, it all comes down to if the sky looks nice. Otherwise we can just sort of wait as the sun comes up and we'll get that foreground lit well anyway. But we might just take this shot from the sky and blend it in depending on how things look. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but it's starting to pan out. Look, there's a really nice cloud cover. It might be a little bit too thick, but you never know. That's the thing, you just never know. So if you stay inside and you don't bother going out, I was nearly not going to come out. I was a bit tired when my alarm went off. I had a big day yesterday and I was like, I might just stay in bed, but I went, nah, let's get up, let's get out. So we've done it anyway. We might be rewarded, or we might go home and have just had a good morning taking photographs. So we'll see. I think I've got the exposures that I'm happy with here. So we've got one that's been done for the foreground. I'm just going to focus up here as well, just to guarantee that I've got front and back here. And we're going to do another 50 seconds. This is shooting at ISO 400, just because there's not much wind and I do want to guarantee the shot, and I want to have a bit of an explore. So if that image turns out any good, like maybe 2 or 3 out of 10, then we'll chuck it up now. Like, this is a crazy landscape here. I've never been here before, so it's really cool. There's like heaps and heaps of rocks. Like big boulders and lots of texture. So at the moment, I can't really see a lot of that, but I'm just hoping that I can find some sort of rock or something that's interesting, and then hopefully we can get some light. But right now it is thick cloud. So I'm just hoping that the sun, so what you're seeing is the other direction, facing this way, which is where the sun's rising. You can see a little bit of colour, but it's very thick cloud. So yeah, I'll check back in if and when we find something else. Wow. Oh, I did not know that there was such a big rock here. Interesting. Could be a composition here. Could be a composition. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm going to have a bit of a play here because there is a nice sort of like structure going from this side sort of right across to this side, and it looks very interesting. So I'm going to have a play. I can see the sun is starting to come up, so we'll see though. Yeah, so I think I've got another composition here. I don't know if you can sort of see it. So I've got this like I think it's like a bit of a water runoff, and it's sort of leading up into the scene there. And then there's like the sky and the rocks, and there's this grass there. So yeah, I just dropped my lens cap. And I don't actually know where it's gone. Somewhere it went rolling down here. Oh dear. Oh, there we go. Got it. Lovely. All right, let's go back and check this shot. I sent it flying down the hill. I was just trying to check the time to see how long till the sun actually comes up. So, and I just watched my lens cap just go doop 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 right down this, which doesn't actually look that steep here, but trust me, it picked up some speed, and away it vanished. It's also a really nice tree over there, which looks interesting. But yeah, yeah. Let's have a look at this. Yeah. Anyway. So I'm a bit unsure about this shot. I love the composition, but without sort of any dramatic colour, there's like no definition in it really. Obviously I can come back to this, but look, we'll see. If I like the shot, I'm going to chuck it up anyway for you to have a look at. But I'm not sure at this point, just off what I'm seeing on the camera, without there being like sort of any like definition, like light shining onto the rocks, it's a bit flat, and there's like no colour in the sky. The sun comes, I think it's meant to be, yeah, like in the next like sort of 5 minutes, so 5-10 minutes, but it's still very thick cloud at the moment. So we have got one shot where I'm kind of hoping it's going to be okay, but this one I'm just not sure, so I'm going to have a bit of a walk. Apparently it's time to wake up. There's a lot of cool texture at this place. I thought while I was walking though, I'd have a bit of a chat. Obviously I don't really do videos, like long form videos, and in the past I have, but I actually deleted that channel, so I'm starting new, which is a good idea, I think, for someone who mentally was burnt out from just like so much of everything. But I want to talk quickly about just something that like I've found as a photographer, content creator, whatever you want to label yourself, someone that takes photos, and whatever serious level that is, whether it's, you know, you're actually getting paid or whether it's just a hobby or something like that. And I think also, just look behind me. There's a seriously cool rock here. I think probably like one of the biggest things that, like, mistakes that we make is comparison. So my alarm just went off. Obviously I showed you that, which is also my, like, usually what I do is when I wake up, I'll post a new image over on Instagram. You can follow me there if you like. So I thought, oh, I'll quickly post that. And the first thing that came up was a photo. I won't say who it's by, but they're a photographer that I really, really respect. And it was an absolutely epic location, you know, over in Patagonia. It was mental. And I was like, oh, wow, you know, and you get that, like, this quick, like, slight, I guess, you know, second where you go, oh gosh, I wish I was there, and how much cooler of a location is that? You know, I wish I could shoot in places like that. And I think that there is a saying, and there's been a lot of debate about it, but, you know, like the comparison, you know, steals your joy. You know, this is paraphrased into my terms. And there is more to it, and there'll be someone that will comment and say, oh, you know, there's actually more to it than that. And I think, but on a whole, getting down to it, sort of, the truth is that if all we ever do is spend our time, you know, out shooting, and just every image we go, oh, I wish I was in this spot, or oh, I wish I was in that spot, or oh, this place isn't good enough. And I've done this as well, and that's why I sort of burnt out on landscape photography, was because of the fact that I was always comparing and always saying, oh, my images aren't good enough, my gear's not good enough, my locations are not good enough. Why would anybody, you know, like, seriously, why would anybody want to come to a place that is just brown grass because we haven't had any rain, and or not much rain, and bizarre looking rocks? You know, why would anybody want to do that? So that's me rambling. Enough rambling. Stop rambling. I'm just trying to get, like, I'm going to ramble a bit while I'm trying to get, what's the word? Comfortable being back on camera after years and years of not being on camera. So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting foreground structure here. So I've just got to say, while the light hasn't been amazing, gosh, this place is peaceful, eh? I'm just full, like, lounging on this rock with my bag behind me, just relaxing and taking it all in. I can hear the birds starting to sing. This is what photography is about. This is what photography is about. Like, this is it. Truck's going past, he's off to work. See you, mate. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just going to say, I really hope that some of you feel like you want to join me on some of my journeys. This is, like, going to probably be my first video. I did try to film another one, but it's kind of sucked. So, yeah, look, if you're into this sort of thing, or you just want to support me and see what I'm up to, then, yeah, I hope you can follow along on the journey. Walking back because we're making a video. YouTube life.